Horror with Marchese and Buller.
Hello.
And we have Gary Buller here. We do have Amy, but she's switching over something. Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's pretty nice here this Sunday. This weekend has been nice. Last night it was like in the 60s.
Yeah, it's been warm here too.
No, but 60s, like, that's almost fall weather, Actually, it is fall weather. I welcomed it after like the 100+ real field days,
Oh gosh, I don't know what the equivalent is, because I always go like, I think it's like you talk like degrees Fahrenheit, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so.
And I talk degrees, so all I know is it's been really, really warm. And
guys,
hello.
Hi, it's Amy. Can you hear me now? I had to switch to Google Chrome. Sorry about that.
Oh man, how do you?
Wow.
Oh, you mean the browser?
Yeah, I use Firefox, and I don't Skype. I haven't Skyped in years, so I had to figure out that Skype doesn't like Firefox, which I think is rude. But so here I am in Chrome. Sorry for the delay.
No worries.
But what kind of computer do you have?
I have a Mac, but I don't want to download Skype on my Mac.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say it's probably easier.
And I don't really use it though, so we'll just do it this way if that's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So how's everything going there? I mean, you live where I am, so pretty much you got the 65-degree night last night. It was like beautiful weather.
Oh yeah, that oppressive heat last week. My new air conditioner has the dehumidify option, and it would only work for a half hour, and then I have to drain it.
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Those you have to drain.
Cool one, yeah. Oh, you found a lot of photos of me. Awesome online. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Amy, by the way.
Yeah, good to chat with you, Gary. I've chatted with Bill before, but not you that often. So how are things across the pond?
Warm. Very warm, very sticky.
Yeah, you got the heat wave that we had probably, where it's oppressive, right? Not fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's really close. I mean, we only had one fan in the house. I've had to dig it out of the attic.
Oh no! Got an air conditioner, so yeah, so I'm on the top floor of my apartment building, and it was like really oppressive before the air conditioner. So anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So how's the writing going, Amy? What are you up to?
Sure, going pretty well. I have a poem in the Horror Writers Association. We have a New York chapter, and we have a new anthology coming out. It's called The New York State of Fright. It's
Cool.
available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Hippocampus Press published it.
Yeah.
They're a really pretty well-known publisher here in the States. And small press, but still, they have a good reputation. And
Yeah.
we're actually having a book signing for it in New York City on August 4th at a bar called Windfall. So that should be fun. And
Awesome.
yeah. And yesterday I just finished a story for a serial killer anthology called Prevention. It's a nod to a magazine that used to be around that my mother and grandmother used to read. Give all these helpful tips, and the main character is this old lady, and her sons are identical twins, and one of them holds a grudge against the other, so he kidnaps the mother, but then the good twin intercepts. Oh no, the mother actually figures out that it's the bad twin halfway through, and he knocks him over the head with his cane, and then the good twin comes and rescues her. And it's kind of fun though. It was fun to write. I'm actually a twin. I have a twin brother.
Oh, okay. So you're in for experience then.
Sort of, except we're not identical. But sometimes there was a lot of extra sibling rivalry growing up because he's a little bit older. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. So when's that out? On the 5th?
The anthology's coming out. Sorry, it's available online now, but we're having a signing for it here in New York City on August 4th. August 4th.
Brilliant. So who else is involved? Is it you? Who else?
Let me open up in my other web browser. I could read you some of the authors from my blog really quick.
Yeah.
James Chambers. He's our
Oh yeah.
He's awesome. And we have John C. Foster has the story. Patrick Brownblatt, I can't say his name. Eric T. Johnson. Kathleen Schreiner, Stephen Van Patten, Mark Abbott, Megan Curie, J.D. Verity, so Elizabeth Rose, Lisa Minetti, posthumously Jack Ketchum and Ed Lee wrote a story. So, I mean, Ed is still with us, but of course, it was very devastating when Jack passed away. I knew him for years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the sort of snapshot of who's in it, the brief Cliff Notes version, if you will.
Wow. So was it like an invite anthology? Do you have to be in like the New York chapter to be in it?
Yes, you do. And then I'm the only one with a poem in there. Everyone else wrote either a story or a novella. So, the guidelines for any work that takes place in New York City, my poem is actually called Machine Gun Latte. And it's inspired by, after 9/11 here in New York City, public places like train stations, the National Guard is there. So I have family on Long Island, so I go through Penn Station pretty often. And so on my way to catch the train, so one of the National Guards, they all have AK-47. Someone told me that they're not loaded. They have to get the clip from someone. It's stupid if it's true. But anyway, so the National Guardsman had I don't know if it was a latte, but it was a Starbucks drink in one hand, and in the other hand he had his AK-47. So I thought it was an interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah.
And it's a very short poem. It's only 100 words, but it really, speaks volumes about, what was happening. I think it's still happening, too. I haven't been to Penn Station in a while.
Yeah.
But they're still there in, like, Grand Central, right?
I haven't, Grand Central so big.
Yeah. Maybe they're hiding. They hide better in Grand Central. I sometimes go through Grand Central, but, like, on the way to meetings and stuff, but not that often. So, yeah.
So when you write your stories, usually just like people doing horrific things to people, or is there any sort of,
speculative element?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I have some ghost stories I've had published. One is actually an old man, and his castle is haunted because some of the stones are from gravestones, and the dead are like coming back to reclaim them, and I don't want to give away the ending, but that was kind of fun to write. And then I have another story. It's a nod to Poe. It's called Raven's Revenge.
Oh.
The ghost takes the form of a raven and exacts revenge on a person. So most of my stories are psychological, and they are bad people versus good people. Like, I just finished writing a novella that I sent to Cemetery Dance. Maybe I should have said to who, but it's already out there.
Yeah.
And it's based on a true story that happened in my old neighborhood of Park Slope, Brooklyn, where like 4 years ago, and this young Hispanic man would follow single women home who were out at 2 a.m. And one could argue if anyone's out at 2 a.m., they were kind of like a target, but I'm usually not out that late myself. But regardless, one of my friends said, well, what if you're ever stuck and you get home at that time? And actually, I worked for the Board of Elections, so we just had a primary in New York, and I had to leave my new neighborhood of Bay Ridge to go to my old one at 2:30. And the subway is a nightmare at the time. I had to take like 3 trains, and then I had to walk a mile because the F train wasn't running where I needed to go, and it was stupid that day. So I was out at a sketchy hour, but luckily there weren't a lot of people out when I was out that day. But anyway, in the story, the main character is a young woman, and she was at the Nighthawk Cinema, which is a real theater in Williamsburg, and she got caught in she got robbed at gunpoint by a gang member. There's really actually still gangs in New York. And the initiation of this young African American boy was to rob her, and tries to shoot her, and the bullet ricochets, and it doesn't kill her, but she gets a nasty scar on her arm. And then after that, she's shaken up, and she goes to concealed and carry gun permit. I had to do a lot of research for this one.
Yeah.
And you can buy a Glock on Glock's website, conceal and carry gun Glock, and women a pink leopard print block, and then she's coming home from her first grade, and she's a millennial, so I have a lot of millennials speak in the story.
Yeah.
Urban Dictionary was my friend, and the other fun thing is the attacker is Hispanic, and he puts his gun on, in small of her back, and he sees her iPhone, and he wants it. So, but then she puts it away, and when he comes up to her, and then he's like, I want that phone I saw you with back there, and he's fumbling in her purse, acting like she's looking for the phone, but then she has her single carry gun in her purse. So she
Right.
it out, and they have like a gunfight, but his bullet misses her, and she shoots him in the chest, and then his bullet ricochets, and the irony is it gets him right between the eyes, so he kills himself. So
Wow.
it's fun, but it's over 10,000 words. There's more like subplots to it, but it's fun to write. It's called Vicious Pink, and hopefully it'll find a home. So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, awesome. So you mentioned the Holy Word Cemetery Dance there. I think anyone in writing has submitted to that. Because it opened up to the public. So is it a magazine that you've read before, or have you bought issues of it? Or?
Oh, sure. I actually subscribed for over 20 years, and they're not like Time Magazine or New York Magazine, which will either email you or in the mail say it's time to renew.
Yeah.
The subscription lapsed, and it's like, sorry, I'm not going to email you to find out when my subscription ends. So I don't pick it up anymore. But I did a store to them in college, and they said, very close, try again, which is very flattering, because I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
But, excuse me, I haven't cracked that market yet.
No, it's a market I really love to crack myself.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like the number one publication in the world, surely.
I know some writers who've actually been published in Cemetery Dance, so I'm a little envious, but I tried to hide it when I congratulated.
I think it's the number one. It's the one I definitely want. Once I get in there, it's like, where do you go from there? It's in terms of short stories and stuff. But I mean, I've only sort of been subscribing to Cemetery Dance, well, on and off for a couple of years. I only own like a couple of issues of it. So it's quite expensive to get it over here in the UK, but since I was a kid, I'd heard of it. It's just one of those magazines that I think everyone's aware of, and it's got the association with Stephen King as well, obviously through Chismar and stuff. So.
And again, I'm jealous because even Richard Chismar's son is writing like a screenplay with him, and then got produced. And I've dabbled in screenwriting actually in the old days before we had Twitter and whatnot.
Yeah.
I went to the local library, and it used to be called the Blue Book of filmmaking, and I got one to give me in California to give me a token payment for a feature script. It was only like $100, but it was $19.95, and I was like,
wow,
years old.
That's plenty in 1995.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm in my 40s now. It's I can't hide it. I have like the gray hair. I'm say it once now.
So's Will. So
yeah, just 41.
40. I guess, Gary, you're the baby between all of us, huh?
Yeah, I'm only just 36. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Young.
I'll be 46 in August.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Age, you feel it as you get older.
It's starting to creep up on me. Like, there's this new spy museum I went to the day before 4th of July because I stayed in town last week. It's called Spyscape. And,
cool.
It costs a lot. It's $42 and change, but it's like going to space. Like they had a laser tunnel, and I tried to run through the laser tunnel in like a minute. You have to press all the lit up buttons to avoid. bed.
Yeah. Where are you?
And for a minute. So that's like a bit of a wake-up call. I mean, I walk around the city and I have an app on my phone, and if I'm meeting friends or running errands and I go on a couple of different subway stops and whatnot, I can walk 4 miles a day, but not every day. So
Yeah.
yeah. It was a fun museum. They had like a Snowden and on hacking and encryption, and they had it was interactive too. You had like a armband, and you would scan it at different kiosks, and it builds a profile of your skills and personality. And it said I would be a good cryptologist, which is funny because I'm not good at that.
Yeah. Where is that place?
It's Midtown. It's West 55th Street and 8th Avenue. So if you ever want to take your family and whatnot, it's a pretty good day out.
Wow.
Hey,
I
Amy.
might have to just come up. I might have to just fly over just to go there.
I meant Will, but I mean, if you're ever in the States, Gary, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So Amy, there's a picture that I saw. I just wanted to get this out of the way before we go on.
Okay, which one did you find? Because I don't have the YouTube open because of the screeching that happens when we do that.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like you're talking, like you're in front of there's one of the you look like you're giving a lecture with your book, right? And in the
wait, which book is it? That would help me narrow it down. Which cover?
Let me see. I just remembered in the background. Wait, I'm waiting till the thing goes through.
Right.
I have the pictures on. I have the pictures on the carousel. But while I'm waiting around, is like the all-seeing eye.
Oh, on the cover, it's apple of my eye, right? From way back when.
Yeah, but behind you is the the Illuminati symbol.
Oh yeah. Oh that's well no, that's a different book, but that's Lovecraft Bar in the East Village. We used to go there on the New York City Horror Writers and have readings and stuff. But then there was a falling out with management. They wanted to charge us a ridiculous cover charge for people to come. I mean, we have a different venue where people pay, but they don't pay like $50 a person. So.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, so we have other venues that we use.
They just changed it recently, right? There was one that they were doing on 42nd.
But no, Lovecraft is in the East Village, but maybe there's a different venue I don't know about.
Yeah, just recently they sent like a newsletter saying that they were changing the bar that they go to for the monthly.
Oh, you mean our chapter? Oh yeah. It's sorry, it's by Penn Station still. I missed the last meeting because I worked the election the day before.
Oh, okay.
But I heard it's a good venue from people who went, because then we have another thing I forgot to mention. It's very fun. It's our second season. It's called Summer Dark.
Mm.
And it takes place in the community garden. April Grech, her family lives in a great apartment building with a garden.
Yeah.
And City Parks gave us new audio equipment. And I'm reading there on July 27th, the Friday. It doesn't rain. We have rain dates. And it's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I've made it to all of them this season. We have the next one on Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Yeah, and James Chambers is reading, Ed Cordillo, who I've met, he's a cool guy, and then Eric T. Johnston. So.
Who's the coolest writer you've met in person, like?
Oh, me? Actually, it would be Carlin Ellison. Excuse me, again, I was shocked to learn the other day when I was online, passed away.
Oh, yeah, gosh.
About when I met him, back in the 90s, the Jokers were in New York City in 1995, which was handy because I lived in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, and I just took the subway and I took a cab home because it was late. But anyway, so I met Harlan, just because it was a smaller gathering or whatever, and either I came up to him or vice versa, and so I just met him and I tried to buy a t-shirt. I was fresh out of college and didn't have enough money to buy an HWA t-shirt.
Yeah.
So Ron Ellison takes $5 out of his pocket, he jams it in my hand, and he says, "Here, now you can buy a damn t-shirt." That's a true story. Harlan Ellison.
Really? Oh.
But so wait, you just needed $5, or the t-shirts were $5?
No, I needed $5 more more than what I had. Remember, like fresh out of college, you know, limited budget. I wasn't good at budgeting when I went to these events yet. You know, I probably had already eaten lunch and had to spend money for lunch or something. It was so long ago. But so yeah, he gave me the extra $5 from his pocket to buy the T-shirt.
Very nice.
Oh, what a nice guy.
I didn't ask him, yeah. So it was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
He's huge, and then I've seen him at other conventions back in the day, where was it, in 2005, again in New York City, and he was in there. Oh, I got caught in an elevator with him and his wife and other authors, and he was cursing a mean blue streak. I mean, we all were, but you know, classic Harlan style about the elevator and what the bleepity bleep. Get out of this elevator after 20 minutes, you know, so yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot of authors read in person. The next best thing would be Stephen King. I didn't meet him in person, but me and my writer friends who were freelancers, like in 2008 or 2009 in New York City, around there, when Under the Dome came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bought only one copy, but we were in the front row because we got there so early to wait online. You know, we bought like McDonald's or something and ate it online outside. And so we were in the front row. So it's like my life's complete. I'm looking right at Stephen King, like he's most random, you know. And the other cool thing from that reading was after I read Under the Dome, I took a picture of, you know, his signature on the inside cover, and I sold it for over $100.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so I got to go to more of those signings like that.
Is he still active? I think that
So what did King talk about?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was just on Colbert a few months ago before The Outsider, you know, was published. Yeah. He goes out. I mean, he's older. He's, you know, like a senior citizen and a grandfather, but, you know, I guess he does what he can.
Yeah, he rarely comes over here. I don't think he ever comes over. Joe Hill's been over here 3 or 4 times, though, since I...
yeah, Joe Hill's great. I was at Nikon, you know, the convention Nikon in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
More familiar than you, Gary. I went in like 2010. Joe Hill was there, and, you know, talked to him. Oh, back to Nikon, yeah. Joe Hill is, you know, he's a pretty laid-back guy, very friendly. So that's cool. He's the same age as me, actually, like by a few months. I think he's younger.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I've met him 2 or 3 times, and each time I've really sort of experienced. He always seems really super friendly, and
yeah,
you know,
very humble.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was quite funny. He had the first time we met him, a dinosaur pencil case. I just remember that. You're like a little kid's pencil case with like dinosaurs on. So
Awesome.
that was at. He's got some sort of association with Galanx over here, you know, the publishers.
Oh.
So the first time I sort of met him was at a Galanx festival.
Okay.
I think I've told the story where there was like a massive long queue going through the bookshop, and was in the queue, and the girl came up to us and sort of said, you know, give us a sticky note saying, can you write your name on it, who you seeing? And I was like, well, we're here to see Joe Hill. And she was like, oh, well, you don't have to get into a queue to see Joe, just go over there. And it was the queue was for some other writer. I can't remember who it was. It was a fantasy writer.
Wow.
And Joe Hill was literally just on his own. No, we were the first people to talk to. So it was super. Yeah, but it was really nice because I got a good 5 minutes with him, and he was super friendly, and he signed all my books and doodled all over them and everything, which I was really pleased about.
Yeah,
and
on Horns, his novel Horns. I went in the winter when it came out with some friends. He doodled on that, and he actually had devil horns that I actually sold on eBay after he signed them.
Are those the ones in the picture?
Yes, I'm an opportunist. One of my friends said I should have waited a few years and it wasn't going to work for him. Like, yeah, but I already put it on eBay, so sorry.
How long have you been writing? Like, what times were there that you really realized that you wanted to be a writer?
Sure. So I always wrote as a kid outside of school. You know, like not every day, but pretty often. and between hanging out with friends on the block on Long Island. But I started writing. I wrote a story in 4th grade for science, and the teacher gave it to me, and I was so sad because when I moved, I couldn't find it. I was going to type it up and put it on my blog. My first story.
Yeah.
It was before computers were, it was in the 80s. Before people had like computers like we have everywhere.
Yeah.
But and then when I got serious would be in high school, and then in college I was an English major in college and a creative writing minor. So my senior year I was kind of insane. Like one semester I had, and then another. So like on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday or whatever, we had a workshop for writing children's fiction, and then on Tuesday, Thursday, I had science fiction writing. So I don't know how I did it looking back. I had to crank out like 50 pages per class over the semester or something like that. And but then in the spring, my last semester, I got all of my important classes out of the way, and I had an independent study, and I wrote a novel. It's the only novel I've written. It's not horror, actually. It's a contemporary thriller. It's called The Art of Deception. You can buy it on Amazon. It's published through Exuberance, which was before indie publishing was widely accepted. Early 2000s, and it's out there. And actually, it's set in the World Trade Center, so it's kind of also like a historical novel too.
So it's,
oh wow!
The Art of Deception. That's not short stories. It's a full-length story.
It's a full-length novel. It's like over 300 pages. Yeah, and I got very experimental. Because then I tried to sell it, like when the rights reverted back to me to a traditional publisher.
Yeah.
And I'm also a web designer, freelance, and I mention it because Peter Mill is retired now, I think, but he used to be a very well-known literary agent in New York City.
Yeah.
I used to manage his website for him. And he had one of his staff critique my novel. So the way my novel was set up is that different characters like different music, like to reflect their personality, like jazz, and the lead male character like hard rock, classic rock, and the female lead character like classical music.
Yeah.
So, and then that was like interwoven throughout the novel, and then I don't know, it was a little experimental, I guess, for a standard publisher.
So I do have a link for your site. That Peter Miller guy, so like, did you ever say, hey, Peter, you want to be agent?
Well, actually not for that, because he couldn't place it. So no, I passed on him representing me to answer your question.
Oh, nice. So you don't have an agent currently, right? You're just
No, it's all me. There's good thought on that.
Yeah.
Agents, in my experience, talking to other writers, are better suited for novels and screenplays.
Yes.
They have the connection, especially in the movie business. That's a whole other animal. I haven't been able to crack that market. Although on LinkedIn, I'll connect with people, and there's one woman in the film business. I pitched Vicious Pink, my novella, to her.
Yeah.
Send me a synopsis the day before 4th of July, so I did it like on July 5th at night.
Oh.
I spent 2 hours, I wrote a synopsis. I haven't done it since college. I took some screenwriting courses in college.
Yeah.
I have final draft. I have a key for it, but I would have to download it. Because I don't have a CD drive in my new Mac anymore. It's not that new anymore. It's 3 years old, but.
Yeah. So what was that? That was a novella you said you're pitching. You were pitching.
Yeah, for her to have it adapted for like a series.
Oh.
But then it didn't happen. I guess at least I have the synopsis now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's sort of like a short story where if you get it, it'll just come out. But then sometimes it's like pulling teeth,
Oh yeah. I've had stories like the poem I told you about. Like practically wrote itself, and I don't think I even had to edit it when I sent it to a New York State of Fright. I think the editor said it was the only piece that didn't need to be edited. So, but then I'm not going to ask, any more editors that, because I think the other people might have wanted to punch me or in the butt. I think someone mentioned that at one of the group readings we had. then the guy announcing us said, and Amy's gonna read a story, and I'm like, oh no, it's a poem. And then in another reading, I'm like, and a poem.
I'm quite kind of interested when you're writing poetry and stuff. Do you have to sort of get into a different sort of mind space than you do when you're, say, writing a short story or you're writing a novel?
Yeah, that's a good question, Gary. Actually, I've only written a few poems, and what I like to tell other writers and my friends who are interested in my writing is that the muse doesn't discriminate. If I'm, delayed on the subway, I always carry a little notebook and a pen with me, and jot down story ideas and whatnot. And I think the poem I jotted down back in the day in my notebook I carry with me, and then I typed it up on my computer. Like not even the same day, So yeah. Sometimes like you were saying, like stories or whatever just seem to write themselves. But like Vicious Pink and novella I just finished. Maybe because I had to do so much research about guns and ballistics and like how do you get a gun permit? It takes like 6 months, and they want to know your life story. And they want to make sure you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Literally. So anyway, yeah, that was interesting. And actually, I find more of my stories that I want to do research. It's not just writing a story. Like I have another story that's in my second collection, Rage Redemption in Alphabet City.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a final novella, and I had to research crime scene, and there's a reference to CODIS. You know what that is? That's the database of criminals.
Yeah.
And, because another writer, I had read a novel or whatever, and he used CODIS, and I just Googled it really quick to make sure I was going to, describe it appropriately, and then how they treat a crime scene, and then an autopsy. I used to watch Dr. G, Medical Examiner. You ever see that show, Will? I don't know if you have it in England, Gary.
I don't think it sounds familiar, no.
Well, it's not on anymore, but in the early 2000s, it was this medical examiner in Florida, and it was her real thing. I mean, they couldn't complain; they were dead. They couldn't say, "No, you can't put me on TV."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, jeez.
And I'm sorry. And so yeah, like I didn't do like everything they do in an autopsy, but I looked up why it's did and how they weigh the organs and stuff, and then even the East Village where the story takes place, I wrote an earlier version of it in Apple of My Eye, but then I expanded it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that I remember that story, the one with the guy goes into the bar.
Eye doctors. So that was my next point. So I researched scalpels because this eye doctor in the story was very arrogant, and he would carry his scalpel in like the equivalent of an eyeglass case that had like a pearl handle.
Yeah.
And then, but I looked up disposable ones and the 10 blade versus the 15 blade. I mean, I worked with a cosmetic surgeon, but I didn't want to like bother him with such a trivial question and email. I mean, he probably would have answered.
Yeah.
But and then it was funny because when I had a day job a few years ago, I much prefer freelancing, I have to say. But when I had to take the subway every day, I would jot down ideas about Apple of My Eye, the first iteration. And then someone must have read my handwriting on the subway because they referenced an article about scalpels. And I wrote it down in my notebook. This is before smartphones. This was like 2006 or 2005. So I wrote it down, and then I looked it up when I got home. And one bad habit I had when I worked in corporate America, I would write story ideas on the company computer, and then I would email them to myself, and then I would delete it from the hard drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be really careful with that.
I don't have to worry about that though, because I freelance now. But yeah, that was.
Yeah. I was gonna say I bring my laptop into work even though I've got a desktop machine, because I believe that they can claim ownership of your work, can't they? If it's still on their computers.
Exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. But I used to work for Macy's in another life. And I hated it so much. They made us. They gave us internet access. This was before I was a web designer. I had a clerical job, and I was getting into web design. And one of my first clients, this is true, but my current clients don't know it. I used to work for Domination.
Oh wow.
day since like 1999. And we started working together, and she's also a nanny.
Oh.
This is the children.
We know someone that's Mistress Rosie.
All right, yeah, I follow her on Twitter too.
Yeah, she's a grandmother. She's a mistress.
Wow, yeah. So, yeah, I learned a lot about that world, and kind of interesting. I don't even know why I'm mentioning it now. I don't know.
So you did the website for her?
Oh yeah, I know why. Because when I worked at Macy's, we didn't have smartphones yet. It was like 1998, 2001, or 2002, and then they laid me off back in that reception. But I was so bored, so I would go on the internet at Macy's, and I would look at my client's porn site.
On the internet?
Yeah, on the Macy's internet, because I was so bored. And it wasn't full nudity, but you know, she was in those latex outfits and whatever. You know.
Wow.
So this was your boss's computer?
No, it was my computer, but it was on Macy's server, you know. So
And they didn't catch that? They didn't, like, you know...
No, I don't know why, but, you know.
Oh, wow.
And then the other funny thing is, this was, like, the most impressive job. I actually had to clock in and out, you know, like, an internal system. But what I used to do to stick it to them, I would clock in when I came back from lunch and clock out an hour later, so they really didn't know when I went to lunch.
Yeah, Oh, so you went for a long lunch, then you went back, and you just...
It's still an hour. I stayed within the hour. Payroll people didn't really know when I was at lunch if they needed to know that.
Wow. This was also in the old days, so they didn't have as many...
If you're stuck in a corporate, you know, environment where you have to clock in and out, how could they not enter my hours?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So, when you mentioned you use your cell phone for when you write, right?
Oh no, I use a notebook. I'm old school.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll research something on the subway, like if I want to Google like, well, not guns in public because I use the voice search, and if I'm like block and I'm shouting that into my phone, that might be a problem in public.
Yeah.
Like if I want to research like a restaurant or a neighborhood, I'll talk to my phone. I see other people do that, but I still write notes longhand.
When you are on the subway and you're doing the work and everything, you're using your cell phone as, you know, research and everything. Like do you find it's easy to do that? I have to have full silence, and the subway is, you know, there's so many things going on.
Oh yeah, like screaming children and stuff.
Yeah, it could drive you crazy, you know. It's just. But do you feel you use your cell phone more for your writing?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter a lot, and you may or may not know. Let's get that out of the bag. I co-manage the Twitter for the HWA New York City chapter. We also have.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
So yeah, I co-manage it with another writer in our group. So because she posts like late at night, and then I'll do it like between my client work. During the week, I just posted earlier about our summer dark reading coming up. So she actually added the second account on her phone, but I don't want to do that because then I'll get twice the notification. So I actually update the HWA Twitter on my computer or my laptop. But I do my personal Twitter like maybe even too much. You know, like if I'm on the subway or you know, waiting for client work to come in. Or over dinner. So yeah, I'm very active on Twitter for sure.
Chambers, right? He's one of the main guys that does the Twitter.
No, I manage the HWA Twitter. Co-manage it with another writer in our group. But Jim does the newsletter we have, and he does the coordinates like the venues, you know, that we have at that and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's you that's reading some of my stuff from there. I see.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The other woman, her name is Annalise, but she goes by Al.
Yeah.
But she takes the photos. She's like a pretty good photographer. I mean, that's not her day job, but you know, it's a hobby she has. So.
Yeah.
Will, you need to get involved in this New York chapter, man.
Yeah, but I think Will said his hours at work
Yeah, they're terrible. I'm gonna try to make it to 1.
Bite the bullet. I'm in person yet, and we both live in New York, so.
Gosh, I'd love to come over to New York. Yeah.
We'll meet up for dinner or drinks or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh gosh.
Amy, how do you fit in writing? What do you do, and how much time do you allot to your writing?
I think I've mentioned this on the Twitter post that you have, is that I'm a freelancer on one income.
Yeah.
So, like a lot of my clients were away last week on vacation, but I did land a new client, which was good. So last week I got more writing done because I knew the clients wouldn't be emailing me or texting me.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow I already have like a full queue of client work. So, like if I'm waiting for work to come in, I'll like try to steal away a half hour for a story I'm working on. But as soon as I get that email or text or, phone call, I have to, put the writing aside, at least during the day. I try not to do work at night anymore, but, very rarely when I have to. Like if I'm going away, and I'm taking a day off. But, I wish I could say I write every day, but I don't anymore. I write a couple of nights a week. And then on the weekend, it's a serial killer anthology yesterday. But, it's usually only a couple hours during the day that I can, on the weekend, like, I'd say anywhere from 2 to 5 hours, like 5 hours if, I'm really in the zone.
How many words would you sort of output from there? Amount of time.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of writers are really big on like keeping track of their word count for every writing section, but I find that it intimidates my muse, so I really don't do that.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of the same. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Will? Do you like set a goal for a word count for your writing sections, or?
I know that they translated editing time into words, but I don't really like doing that either because I think it just sets you up sort of for failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to hit that goal, and if you don't hit it, you really feel terrible.
Some writers even will post, I guess they have a certain software that shows their word count on like a novel for each writing section. Some of them put that on social media or on their blog, and they're like, oh yeah, I don't think get caught into that trap, or not a trap, but personally, I would never do that. I would never post that on my Twitter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's part of the process, if it's part of the steps to figuring out a way to do your thing, there's nothing wrong with that,
No, I'm not dissing it. I'm just thinking out loud that, like, I didn't think that it could be motivational. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. I actually missed the cemetery dance window.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I only got 3 hours the prior night. I just passed out. I was so tired. And then I woke up at like midnight, but I wouldn't have been able to really do anything.
Yeah, you want to send your best, would you? That's the point, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to commend you on. Posts you do every week, but then does it become like stressful for you to have to like produce all those blog posts every week?
Well, it's funny because I do get to a point where I'm like, and then I have to make the picture too because I kind of challenge myself to do the pictures. But then. At the last minute, I just calm down. It just comes out real. It's supposed to be just like thoughts, so it doesn't have to be heavily edited or anything. I make sure it's like... Yeah, so, and plus I use my cell phone a lot. Like, it's really a big thing with my writing.
Oh, when we were talking about Twitter, sorry, I'm going to go off on a little sort of diversion here, but we're talking about like people on Twitter sort of talking about word count and stuff like that, but I found a guy on posted every single... thing that he'd done, every submission, every rejection, and it was a little bit embarrassing, really. I'll try and find him and sort of direct message you guys who he is, but he literally posts every submission that he sends out to who, and he posts about his rejections and acceptances as well. I think some things are a little bit private, though. I don't like people knowing.
When I think of England, I think of like Harry Potter, but then I guess you get those really foresty areas like when where the trains go and everything.
Oh.
Where I live, it's just like Harry Potter, exactly the same. No, actually, the place where Harry Potter lives at the beginning of the film, and I live on a very similar sort of estate. You know, just like red brick houses, a little bit of countryside around us. Yeah, little driveways. Yeah, it's quaint.
Yeah.
It's quaint, but I call it home, Amy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Where I rest my head at the end of the day. You know?
Yeah, whatever you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
New York is. I used to live in the Bronx, and then I moved to Queens.
Yeah.
But now I'm up in Westchester.
Urban now.
Yeah, the city was just so loud, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, it is. Sure. A lot of people like that. See, I live in Bay Ridge, which actually is sort of has a suburban feel. Some of my friends who visited me here have said, and my brother helped me move in last year, and he said that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a picture you posted. It's 2-story, right?
Well, yeah, my building's a 2-story, and like when we had that thunderstorm a few months ago, I did a picture of the clouds, and that was the building across the street. That wasn't my building.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but that's what I figured, because I was like, oh, she's probably in one of the like a private house.
It's landlady has the whole first floor, and then I have the front of the building, and then the other tenant has the back, like a really apartment deal.
Nice.
Well, yeah.
So Amy, this is what we're gonna do. This might be a little funny. I'm gonna ask you a question, and you're gonna answer it fast, and I'm gonna go through the questions I have in less than 5 minutes.
Oh, a lightning round, yes. Sure.
Like quick fire.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Let's see if we can. Okay. Do you feel you're close, or do you know when you'd be able to sustain yourself only on writing? Go.
Oh, not for a long time, to be honest.
Okay, next one. How far have you gone to do a signing? And do you like to travel for them, or do you like to really just do
stay local?
Yeah.
Well, the furthest would have been Atlanta, back in like 1998. So I was there for the convention, but I did signing for yeah.
Said Atlanta.
Atlanta, 1998.
Yeah.
World Horicon back in the day.
Oh, nice. So you also had the booth at Javits Convention Center, right?
Oh yeah, New York City Comic Con. Yeah. We've done it. But that's pretty local. You asked how far I travel. So it's usually within New York City, though.
Yeah. You never went to England or anything like that, right?
Oh no, I mean I went to Germany for a friend's wedding, but that was in 1996, so I haven't been out of the country since.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like I'm not allowed out of the country. I just haven't had.
Okay, Amy, do you have a special pen or a place where you do your work best?
I don't have a special pen, but I most of my writing at my desk is a huge notary desk that I got from it.
Nice.
So I have limited money, but it's very nice of the desk, yeah.
Excellent. Some writers get upset when a cafe is mentioned, but are you in this camp, or do you find it pleasing to be, in a cafe when you write anything?
Yeah, I do.
I don't really. I mean, I go to Starbucks in between meetings or Dunkin' Donuts, but I'm not one of the writers who camps out with their laptop in a cafe half the day.
Yeah.
But I'm not dissing it, but I personally don't do it.
Yeah. All right, cool. Do you save earlier versions of your work, or do you like different levels of completion, or do you just make changes to one document?
Sometimes I'll have an older version of a story. Then when I rewrite it, I call it, redux at the end.
Yeah.
So that's the most current version. But I don't do it with all my work, only a couple stories. It's interesting to see how I've grown as a writer over the years. Drafts.
I have versions on mine. When I work through a draft, I'll call it D1, and then I'll start when I go through it again. I'll call it D2, and just keep working through it. So I've always got like an older version of the story to go back to in case.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you can edit the creativity out of a story.
Yeah.
Without even realizing it. So.
Yeah, I do that with major changes. I do that
Yeah.
second. And the last one that so I hear you reference that your muse is kicking and you're going to start writing sometimes on social media. Who or what is your muse, And I've read that some writers, describe how they look and such.
That's a good question. I don't know. It's just like I'd rather just refer to it as like a state of mind. Where if I get a notification on my phone, I'll miss it. I'm like so involved in writing something or researching.
Yeah.
So that's happened. And it was bad because I was supposed to meet friends somewhere.
Would you say it's a state of fright?
Yeah. Have been published. It depends on the story. Some of my more gruesome stories, actually, characters do scare me.
Yeah.
But it's more of a stream of consciousness. Like I'm watching a movie and I'm reporting what's happening, like the movie's in my head.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's what works for me anyway.
Amy, do you have anything new coming out, or you want to plug anything?
My novella didn't find a home yet, but I did take a picture of that on Twitter. Like the first page of it.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
So that, I see other writers do that. But I would just say the Horror Writers New York Anthology, New York State of Fright.
Yeah.
Available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com now, and then we have the signing in person if anyone's in New York City. It's Saturday, like 8 p.m. to 11:30 or something, August 4th.
Cool, actually. I didn't even know it existed, this anthology, but I'm definitely going to check it out now.
Yeah, it's if anybody wants to go, just to see it, there's links in this link, twitter.com/HWA_NYS, and that's the Twitter feed for that.
That's us for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, this was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, no, thanks very much for coming on, Amy. It's been nice to put a voice to the face.